doing dance, I'm just going to give you a bunch of information about different parts of it. So there are several styles of dance. Up on the board are just a few. These many styles listed can be broken down into several other categories based on their history and origin. The major historical categories of dance are African American, ballroom, ceremonial, disco, freestyle, improvisation, Latin, street, and swing. As a competitive dancer, I only do jazz, lyrical, contemporary, hip-hop, musical theater, improv, tap, and ballet on a week-to-week basis. And the other ones are just fun things that you learn here and there when you go to competitions. So now I'm just going to give a quick summary of some of the origins of different popular styles. Tap was first created in the U.S. during the 19th century with inspiration from Irish and African American forms. Slave owners had taken away the slaves' traditional instruments from their home, like where they began their music, and they would make music with their feet, so they added pennies and different types of other metals to the bottom of their shoes. These performers, once freed from slavery, began to travel and entertain people with their new form of music, and after the Civil War, the popularity of tap took off. Tap dancing then developed into what is known for today, and in the 20th century, tap shoes were evolutionized into the metal toe and heel that they are. So this video is just, I'll only play a little bit of it. These are the Nicholas brothers. They're two of the, what play? These are two brothers that really started to take tapping to a performance level instead of just an enjoyment level. If it will load.
I'm sure we don't have any reason to think it won't.
I know, right?
It just might be next week.
Hey, Rod, get a new computer.
Wow, you won't even let me click pause. And so now I'll talk a little bit about the history of hip-hop. Hip-hop originated from a series of events that occurred in the early 1960s. First beginning in New York, one of the most dance-filled places in the country. The U.S. people who were not able to create themselves professional dance careers began bringing their natural movement to the streets. This style began to get a rep of being created for the people, not the academy. Street dance led to many people to start to create their own forms of specific movement, such as popping, locking, breaking, and gliding. As hip-hop evolution continued, b-boys and b-girls would be invited to DJ'd events where they could battle one-on-one and show their skills. Certain moves started to be called hip-hop moves, and as hip-hop moved more into the professional world of dance, its innovative nature continued. Hip-hop is now one of the most known dance styles and is booming in the industry today. And this is just a quick video of, I'm guessing some of you have seen him just on like Instagram videos or stuff like that. But his name is Fiction. The TV show So You Think You Can Dance is basically for people wanting to start their own professional careers, and it's just like a boost into the dance world. And he auditioned a couple years back and ended up winning the top 2 category. He didn't win the overall thing, but and he started dance as a street performer.
Excellent. Thank you, Fiction. Humans.
So that's him.
Who's judging?
And then just one more history part. The basics of all dance ballet originated in the 15th century during the Renaissance in Italy. Professionals of the style would teach nobility, and it became a sign of riches. Many kings would hold large festivals to push the popularity of ballet, and in the 19th century, ballet began to be linked to a romantic movement. This led to the interest of ballet to spread across the continent and especially gain popularity in Russia. This is where the beginning of famous ballets such as the Nutcracker and Swan Lake began to be created. And that's just a picture from Swan Lake. Oops. Yeah.
Oh my. So quick.
Shifting more into dance in today's world, the competitive world of dance has boomed. Dance competitions are companies that bring in choreographers and professional dancers in the industry to teach and judge younger dancers trying to start their dance careers. They are held all around the world. A normal competition weekend consists of traveling to wherever the competition is being held, taking classes during the morning till around 2:45, and then competing at night. These classes are called conventions and are ways for dancers to start working with people in the industry in more of a learning setting. These conventions are usually held at a hotel, and the company uses the hotel ballrooms, which are basically just large rooms covered in rug, and they have like chandeliers and stuff like that, so it's just a way to fit hundreds of dancers into one space. The rooms are divided by age, and there's usually about 300 kids in a senior room at a time in a regional, and then close to 800 or more at a national. Everyone is given a number, and which is what's on my shirt. It's a number with your, either they do the number in big and your name in the corner, or this company did the name on the front and then your number in the corner. And this is for teachers to pick out people they use to give scholarships, or to just, like, the picture on the left is from an audition that was held in Boston last year. And so they hold a learning audition, so it's basically for dancers to start preparing for what an audition process would be out in LA or New York. And so you go through the process, and they'll pick you by your number, and then in the closing show, which ends the weekend, they'll have the dancers that they picked perform a piece that the choreographer will set, either at one of the nights or during your lunch break. And so yeah. Any questions about competition stuff? Cool. And then lastly, the dance industry. The dance industry is getting bigger and bigger every year. From commercial dance, backup dancing, teaching, judging, and performing on tours, there are so many opportunities for dancers in the business today. New York and LA are the two big cities that dancers strive to be in. New York is for dancers wanting to be on Broadway, get dance training at studios such as Broadway Dance Center, or go to very well-known training colleges such as Juilliard and Pace. LA is for dancers wanting to jump right into the industry with auditions coming from all different studios, hundreds of agencies, and many studios hold the best teachers and performers in the business at the time. So the left corner picture is a studio called Millennium that is in LA, and the bottom one is Movement Lifestyles. Both are in LA. And those are basically studios where people like Fiction actually has taught at one of them before. So any of these people that have been on So You Can Dance, World of Dance, or have a professional career from just whatever they've done with their lives, are offered to teach at these studios, and then they'll bring in like an agency to look at the dancers while they're learning in class. Or a couple years ago, a teacher named JoJo Gomez brought in Demi Lovato, and Demi Lovato ended up picking the dancers to be on her new music video right from the class that they were learning a piece to her song in. So, and then the top right corner is Broadway Dance Center in New York. It's more of a college-style learning place where students go for a couple months and they live right there, and they can do either like a 3-month program or they can do a year program, and it's basically another way to start your dance training. And that's that. Any questions? Yeah, Stephanie.
Do you think that, like, it's ever too late to start taking, like, do you have to be in it from the beginning, do you think?
Not at all. Like, some of the biggest, like, I take class this past couple weekends ago. I was in New Orleans, and one of the teachers there didn't start dancing until he was 18. And he picked it up and loved it and started his whole career off of it and, like, ditched everything else. So I think it's just something fun that everyone can do. Even if you're not in it just for, like, the professional stuff, I think it's just fun. Yeah.
How long do you think you're going to want to keep dancing?
Well, this summer I'm actually going to Millennium and Movement Lifestyle for a couple days to take some classes while I look at some colleges. And then most of the colleges I'm looking at are for dance majors right in that area. So if it goes by plan, I'd love it to be my career. But we'll see.
What's your favorite style of dance?
Well, I teach hip hop, so it probably should be hip hop. But I really like contemporary too, which I didn't talk about. But contemporary is basically more raw movement, so it's more of like your own creativity. It's kind of like the hip hop of like a more ballet lyrically style. So, yeah. Yeah.
What do you teach?
So this past year I taught a kindergarten through 2nd grade class, a 4th grade through 7th grade class, and then a junior high and up class. So kind of all ages. Just at my studio though. I haven't done anywhere